Yes.
Well, she got about 50.
It's 5:30. We'll call this regular city council meeting of the Steamville City Council on July 7, 2026 to order at 5:30. I have asked Ms. Durfee if she would lead the pledges in a moment, but I want to say something. Is our mic not on? Okay. Have you noticed there's nobody in the room talking? This is a special time for our country. I think all of us recognize the significance of the anniversary that we just celebrated. As we say the pledge in a moment, I want y'all all to think about how significant that is, that this country that was an experiment has sustained itself for 250 years. It's significant to me that we have endured that long. The men and women that have come before us and made these things available for us and put us in the positions that we're in now have done a great service to us and to the nation. I heard or read somewhere one time that we stand on the shoulders of giants, and we do, because of the things that they did, the things that they endured, the things that they took as common and made uncommon, because of their loyalty, because of their bravery, because of the people that they were. And when we say the pledge in a moment, I want y'all all to think about those people that came before us, that put us in a position where we are today, where we can stand in freedom and say the pledge to this flag that means so much to so many people. Now, if y'all will join us, and Ms. Durfee is going to lead us in the pledges to the flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to ask Ed Ditforth from the Cornerstone Church to offer our invocation. Please, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Would you bow your hearts with me? Father in heaven, we come before you so grateful for your loving kindness and your grace and your mercy. Each of us carry things with us, and rather than ask that you help us to set us aside, we just ask that you allow us to lay those at your feet and cast that care upon you. And in doing so, allow us to have clear minds to be used of you to help lead and serve and make decisions for this great city that we call home. We ask you to bless our council. We ask you to bless the staff. We pray, Lord, that you would continue to shine your favor upon this city, and that we can look up and say, this is a city of champions because of the Lord Jesus Christ. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. At this point in our agenda, we have an opportunity for citizens' general discussion. Is there anyone that would like to come and address anything that has to do with the city that is not on the agenda tonight? I see no one, so we'll go to the next item on our regular agenda, which is consider approval of ASO truck upfitting for Steenville PD, and I believe Chief Harris will present that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and distinguished members of the council tonight. Asking for your approval as we upfit our new Animal Services Officer's truck. Been some challenges for us with this. In your packet, you will see that on our 3 bids, we did have one that did back out. But what I'm asking tonight is, and is within our budget, is that we award that bid to, or not the, well, we allow the purchase of that. Let me rephrase that a little bit, as we're not opening a bid here, but Harstra Manufacturing out of Waco, they came in higher than the other bid. However, a couple things. In the budget, I have vehicle upfitting savings that I can use toward that, so not asking for any additional funding there, but want to go with them because of the 4-month time frame to have that. If we go with our other one, it's probably almost 2 years. And so, and it's out of Iowa, and them being in Waco, you know, for anything that we need, any extra help or anything else related to that, we can go to them being so close. So that's what I'm asking for the council tonight, if you consider to approve the purchase of what we call a chassis mounted system or animal safety box for the back of our new Animal Service Officer truck.
Any questions for Chief Harris?
So there won't be any downtime because you're buying a new vehicle, a new box, so there won't be any downtime on services?
No, sir, we're still using our current one now. It's just reached the end of life cycle. for that, but we're still able to function there. And then we also do, if they're not available or if something is wrong with that truck, at the meantime, we'll use a patrol car. Yes, sir. Especially in the hot summer with the air conditioning and that safety for the animals. Yes, sir.
Any other questions for Chief Harris? Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the ASO truck uplifting, as presented. Second.
Got a second by Dee, okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, Chief, your next item on the agenda is expenditure for a patrol unit build-out for the Stevensville PD.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and distinguished council members, thank you for that previous vote. Also is requesting approval for the expenditure of we have 3 new patrol cars to also be outfitted. And this year, with the Dana Safety Supply, who we've used for years in the Metroplex, but came in well under budget. For all 3 of those vehicles, we'll be recycling some equipment that goes on that same vehicle. That saves us a lot of money. And so that expenditure amount, which is, again, well below the budgeted item of the approved budget from everyone, is at $33,956. And again, asking for your approval to have that expenditure to build those 3 police cars.
Any questions for Chief Harris?
Did I miss it in the report how long it would be for those cars to be ready?
We struggle with that part, but we're hoping in 2 to 3 months after approval and getting them there and down. They're in line, and they've caught up with a lot of the build-out of the bulletproof vehicles for the state, and so that's helped expedite that some. So we're hoping, say, 3 to 4 months, but hopefully not much
I
longer.
thought that was a problem in the past.
It has been a major problem for us to almost the 2-year mark.
Chief-
Yes, ma'am.
Are we in possession of the vehicles?
We are,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chief, how much are you saving?
So with,
Below the amount we've budgeted for this?
by recycling that, I don't have that exact amount here, but probably close to about 30,000.
Okay.
Yes, sir, by recycling equipment.
Signi-
I can get you that exact amount, sir, but a lot,
Is that per vehicle?
total for the
Total?
3.
Total for 3.
Yes, sir.
And they've had good workmanship and everything's been good on all of theirs, or?
We have to spend a lot of time there, but as long as we stay with them we mirror the Fort Worth police package. That saves us a lot of money also, Mr. Cook, by bulk purchases. While we're only doing 3, Fort Worth may be doing 1, 2, 3, 400 this year. So because we mirror their package, we save a lot of money there. But they have a lot of turnover in their personnel. So sometimes we struggle with that part. Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Mr. Pro Tem, I move that we approve the expenditure for the 25-26 patrol unit build-out as presented.
A second.
Motion by Mark, second by Maggie to approve the expenditure for the police build-outs. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries, Chief. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Our next item on the agenda is approval of expenditure of hot funds for the Stevensville Historical Preservation Project, and I think Mr. King has that one.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, Pro Tem, members of council, recently met with Ms. Bella Dow with the Stevensville Historical House Museum, and just kind of discussing the future and, how we can continue to partner for improvements and those things. And they use the chapel on the mosque for all different kinds of events, and she's here tonight and can explain a little more if you have questions there. But they're trying to do a project to refinish all the pews in the chapel, and so there's a proposal in front of us to help with that and reimburse them for the expense of that, so it can continue to be used for weddings and other kind of events at the chapel. That is an allowable expense under hot funds as part of the historical preservation that's mentioned in the law, because it does bring people to town for those events, which turns into heads and beds, if you will. And so the quote in front of you is for $23,470.
So if approved, we would bring you a budget adjustment at a later date to sort the accounting out of that, but certainly have those funds available. And then some, and I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Mr. King?
So there's a limit in statute, I think. This doesn't get anywhere close to the limit that you can spend on
No, sir,
preservation.
it's based on like 15% and way below that.
Okay.
Do you know about how many weekends or weddings or events they have at the chapel?
I would defer that to Ms. Dow.
We were trying to do that in this, oh, go ahead, just.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, ma'am.
I can look at my calendar and tell you exactly how many there are, but we were trying to do this in the hot summer months because we really pick up weddings starting in September as we do Pickers and Poets, which we hold on Sundays, once a month on Sundays. And the pews that we're trying to redo are actually, part of those are the original pews for that church. We now get about $12,000 a year from a church group that meets there. And the money we get from Pickers and Poets barely covers the expenses for the air conditioning and the food and all of that. But the weddings are picking up. And we've tried to make it, it's just hard. It's a small chapel. It only holds about 100 people. I know that we have weddings in October, November, and December already lined up, and I was trying to get the pews done. We're going to use the Wood Doctor over in Bluffdale. I don't know if you're all familiar with him, but he thinks he can do them on site rather than us having to move them. I thought about trying to get someone in the Metroplex to do it, but the cost of having them come down here, the cost of having them transport those, because you have to have a 12 or 15-foot trailer, and getting them, but he's going to do them on site, we think. And since we have this little gap of time that we can do them in before those fall weddings start, this would be the time to do it. I redid the forms at the museum, and we have been asking, are you staying in town? Are you going to be eating out? How long are you here? How many of your people are coming that are going to be in B&Bs or in the hotels? I can tell you so far that most of them are staying in your bed and breakfast and not in your hotels. So we've been documenting that so that we could show that to Jason and to the mayor that we are working on that. Because in the past, we haven't asked those questions, but I redid the forms so that we could prove it. Do you have any other questions? No? I'm relieved that I can sit down.
Thank you. Any other discussion, or do I have a motion on the expenditure of the hot funds for the museum preservation project?
I make the motion that we use the hot funds for the pew restoration for the Stephenville Museum.
Second.
Was that you, Nick? Okay. I've got a motion by Leanne, a second by Nick, to approve the expenditure of the hot funds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries then. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate your work down there. Thank you, Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
Next item on the agenda is consider zoning change, application number RZ 2026-9804. The applicant is requesting for a rezone of property located at 1115 Alexander Road, parcel R17611 of the John B. Dupai abstract of the city of Stephenville, Erath County, from single family R1 to neighborhood business B2. Mr. Killen?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. The Carpenters are requesting the rezone of this property, which is currently an existing residential home, asking for a rezone to B1 to allow for the introduction of a business to our community that is, I put in here a personal service business, but it's actually more clinic oriented. And it is, I think, a good good service that will come to our city if this rezone is approved. Under the 2050 comprehensive plan, the future land use designates this property as within the complete neighborhood district, which allows for local retail and service businesses on active corridors. So it would be in alignment with our comprehensive plan. The Planning and Zoning Commission convened on June 17th, 2026, and by a unanimous vote of 5-0, recommended the City Council approve the rezone request. Again, this is for a rezone from R1 residential to B1, a neighborhood business. The Carpenters are with us tonight, and their daughter, Miss Simpson, is here to share a little bit about the business if you would be interested in having a little deeper conversation about that. So with that, Mayor Pro Tem, Council will be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Do anyone have any questions for Mr. Killen?
Steve, just for clarification, the application says from R1 to B2 on the agenda. And then the ordinance actually on the agenda says R1 to B1. They both say neighborhood business, but I don't know what that.
Yes, sir. If it says B2, that was a typographical error, so it would be B1.
Neighborhood business.
And
To
the
B1?
B1.
It was incorrect on the slide too.
My apologies for that. I will say that the staff report, we cut directly from the notice to the paper, which was sent per the legal notice requirements. And so the description in your staff report, where it actually states from R1 to B1 neighborhood business, that's where we get that from. So that gives me the confidence that the notice to the paper was issued correctly. So with that, I believe if the city attorney is comfortable that we can still proceed. Thank you, sir. Apologize for the
Any
mistake.
other questions for Mr. Killen? At this time, 5:47, I'm going to open a public hearing on the rezone RZ 2026-9804. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of it? Ms. Simpson?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
If you would, please state your name and address, and then you have 3 minutes.
Kaja Simpson, 1202 Mockingbird Street, Stephenville, Texas, 76401. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. My name is Kaja Simpson, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm requesting that this property be rezoned back to commercial. It was previously zoned commercial, and I'd like to use it to open an outpatient speech therapy clinic serving children and adults in Stephenville. I understand that when a property is near homes, neighbors naturally have concerns. I want to assure you that this type of business is very quiet and low impact. We see patients by appointment only, so there will not be any heavy traffic or large crowds or excessive noise. Most people come in and attend therapy and leave. And being a good neighbor is my intention and very important to me. I plan to take pride in this property by keeping it clean and well maintained and attractive, and my goal is to add to the neighborhood and not take away from it. I also believe that this clinic will be a benefit to our community. Many families and adults have to travel far distances for speech therapy services, over 30 minutes to an hour. My hope is to provide high-quality care close to home while creating a welcoming place that serves people of all ages. I love Stephenville, and I'm excited about this opportunity to invest in this community through my profession. And I respectfully ask for your support in rezoning this property back to commercial so that I can bring this service to our community. And I thank you for this time and consideration, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Ms. Simpson? Yes,
So
sir.
so at the P and Z meeting, you did talk about how you would utilize the parking in front of that home. So could you just visit a little bit about how the parking will go?
Yes, sir. So we have currently, I believe, 4 parking spots. One is handicapped, and so usually it's me, and then there's one other client at a time. They're usually 30-minute appointments with a distance of, 15 minutes in between appointments. So that would be adequate parking space for us to be able to provide services for an adult or a child.
And so I think there was a question about no one would have to back back onto Alexander Highway, there's room for them to turn around and enter?
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just making sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions for Ms. Simpson? Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor or opposition to this rezone request? Seeing no one else, I'm going to close the public hearing at 5:50. Council, what is your pleasure?
Mr. Pro Tem, I move that we approve ordinance number 20260-16 for this rezone from R1 to B1 as presented.
Second.
Second by Gerald, okay. I have a motion by Mark and a second by Gerald to approve this rezone request. Did you have something else, Mr. Killen?
No, sir.
Okay. Specifically, this motion is to rezone property located at 115 Alexander Road, 1115 Alexander Road, parcel R17611 of the John B. Dupuy Abstract, Stephenville, Erath County, Texas, from single-family R1 to neighborhood business B1. I misspoke earlier, but it is B1 that we're rezoning to. That's the motion that's been made. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes then. Thank you very much and good luck. I know that this will be a service that many will be thankful for and appreciate having it available locally. Thank you and good luck. Next item on our agenda is our financial report from Ms. Harris. There she is, okay. Oh, okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, my name's Rebecca Pingleton. I'm the Assistant Finance Director. So, in reviewing the financial statements ending in May 31st, 26, the financial indicators are overall as or better than anticipated. For our property tax collections, we received $143,000 in property taxes for the month of May. That resulted in a $649,000 increase in the funds collected last fiscal year to date. The amount collected is a little over 100% of our budget, which is $162,000 more than anticipated. For our sales tax, we received $945,000 in sales tax in May. That resulted in $597,000 or 9% more than the funds collected last fiscal year to date. The amount collected is 75% of the budget, which is $709,000 more than anticipated. For the revenue of the $42 million of revenue we received to date in May, 47% was received in the general fund, 29% was received in the water wastewater fund, 8% was received in the capital projects fund, 6% was received in the landfill fund, 3% was received in the airport fund, 2% was received in the stormwater drainage fund, 2% was received in the hot fund, and 2% was received in the TIF fund. And the remaining funds received 1% or less. And we received 79% of the total budgeted revenue through May, which is $1.6 million more than anticipated due to taxes and charges for services. And we received $8.3 million more revenue through May than last fiscal year due to taxes, debt proceeds, and interfund transfers. Moving on to expenditures. Of the $34 million spent to date, 54% was expended in the general fund, 30% was expended in the water wastewater fund, 6% was expended in the landfill fund, 3% was expended in the debt service fund, 3% was expended in the stormwater drainage fund, and 2% was expended in the hot fund. The remaining funds spent 1% or less of the total expenditures. And we have expended 50% of the total budgeted expenditures through May, which is $15 million less than anticipated due to personnel, contractual, capital outlay, debt service, and interfund transfers. We spent $3 million more in expenditures through May than last fiscal year to date due to personnel, operating, and transfers related to capital outlay. CETA has received 74% of budgeted revenue through May, which is 43,000 more than last fiscal year to date due to taxes, and 47,000 more than anticipated due to taxes and interest. And CETA has spent an overall 60% of their budgeted expenditures through May, which is 2,000 more than last fiscal year to date due to contractual and capital outlay, and $56,000 less than anticipated due to personnel and grant disbursements. And that wraps up May.
Do you have any questions?
No, but well done.
Thank you.
You've rehearsed and done well. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion on that?
Pro Tem, I move we approve consent as presented.
Second.
Mark made the motion to approve the consent agenda. Gerald made the second to that.
No, actually,
Me.
I'm sorry, Leanne. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? So that passes. So the consent agenda is passed. Now we go to comments by city manager.
Yes, sir. We had a fantastic 4th of July in Stephenville, Texas. And so I just want to thank the army of people that it takes here at the city to make all that happen. And so from our police and fire departments, our parks team, streets, Main Street, everybody, it truly is an army of people to make all that happen. Thank Chris Stacy and his team for that fireworks display, Doug Montgomery and all of our partners for the concerts, the artists that performed that night. But I thought it was a fantastic day from beginning to end. So I just want to thank everybody involved. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Ms. Durfee?
I will second what Mr. King said. July 4th was great. The parade was amazing. I got 1 million people texting and calling, saying how well everything was done and put together. And then I would also like to give a little shout out to 2 of our rodeo athletes. Colby Payne won the Prescott Rodeo on July 4th, and Martha Angelone won St. Paul. Both on Cowboy Channel being interviewed, talking about us. So, congratulations to them, and that's all I have.
Mr. Cook?
Well, I'd like to say one thing too, that the 4th was another fantastic day for us, for Stephenville. If you haven't been through the parade, and I think a lot of us here have been on it, a lot of you have too probably, but to see maybe 10 or 15,000 children lining the parade route. It is just an amazing thing. I didn't know we had that many kids in this whole region. It was just amazing, and they're the cutest that you can imagine, and to see that many kids here, it's just really great. And I don't know if you noticed, but afterward, the restaurants that were open in town were full and packed, and there were waiting lines and everything else because people were coming from everywhere here to our parade. And I thought that was just really neat, and it's such a patriotic time for us. So a big shout out to the staff, a big shout out to the volunteers that helped make this all very successful and organized as it was. It is growing each year, and so it was just a super thing. So thank you all for that, and we look forward to the 300th anniversary. I hope you all are there with me.
Some of you. Mr. McClinton?
No comments, sir.
Mr. Carr?
Have nothing.
Ms. Smith?
No comment.
Mr. Stern?
Well, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it was a great parade and a great Fourth. It was very, very fun to see everybody, in town along the entire, route. And I appreciated the extra steps that, whoever came up with the idea of adding some security around the square. I think that was really good. I felt a lot better about driving through there, and not running over a kid. So that was a great addition that I hope we keep doing. So, but it was a wonderful Fourth, great 250th birthday for our nation.
No comment, sir.
And I'm gonna sound like a broken record too, but the parade and the attendance and the organization was just phenomenal. And I also wanna thank all of our staff, street, public works, fire, police, parks, everybody that chipped in and worked very diligently to make sure it came off. And from my perspective, at least, it came off flawlessly, which is not an easy task to accomplish. But I also appreciated the barriers downtown, because that made the area a lot safer and a lot more secure. And I think it was an excellent idea that someone on staff came up with to do something like that.
Chief and his department.
Okay, well, and thank you for that, Chief, because I think that improved everything down there significantly. But I also want to thank the Stacys, that they have a phenomenal crew that put that show on, and they did a good job organizing, and then they were down there by Monday morning cleaning all of that up, having everything, and I'm sure knowing them, when they left, it was in just as good a shape as it was when they got there. But they do an excellent job, and I want to thank them for their work and their dedication to serve the city of Stephenville. And that's all I have. At this time, 6:02, we're going to recess the regular city council meeting for executive session in compliance with the provisions of the Texas Open Meeting Law, Subchapter D, Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes annotated in accordance with Section 551.074, Personnel Matters, to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, that is the interim city secretary, and Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney, with the city attorney, to consult over pending or contemplated litigation. At 6:02, we're adjourning the meeting. We will return. It is 6:42. I'll call us back into regular session. Is there action to be taken on any of the items discussed in executive session?
Mr. Pro Tem, I move that we authorize city manager to execute a contract with SDR for an interim city secretary.
Second.
I have a motion by Mark, second by Maddie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. At 6:43, I'm going to call this meeting adjourned.